Ready to dive into some serious Forex action? We're talking explosive moves, the kind that make your heart race.
The ones you want to be on the right side of, for sure.
Exactly. And we love digging into the nitty-gritty here, so you brought us a fascinating video to unpack this one from the Inner Circle Trader.
Great find. They always have thought-provoking stuff.
Okay, so this one's all about spotting those big market swings, ideally before they happen, which, let's be honest, is like the dream for any trader, right?
Absolutely. Who wouldn't want a crystal ball for the markets?
Right. So the video dives right into this thing called the Commitment of Traders Report, the COT report.
Yeah, the COT. It can seem intimidating at first, all those numbers.
No kidding. I remember the first time I saw it, I was like, is this written in code? But the video really helped break it down, especially when it comes to those commercial traders. What's the deal with these commercials? They're like the VIPs of the trading world or something.
Think of them more like the whales, the big players, banks, huge corporations, institutions. They're the ones moving massive amounts of money around.
Okay, so not just some guy in his basement with a laptop. Got it.
Exactly. These are the pros,
Yeah.
the ones who don't mess around with quick little trades. They're playing the long game.
So they're in it to win it long term.
And that's what makes their moves so interesting. When they start piling into a currency, it's not on a whim.
So it's like they're seeing something the rest of us aren't.
Exactly. Like, they've got some insider info, which obviously they don't, but it's almost as if they can see the future of the price, whether it's going way up or taking a nosedive.
Okay, so the COT report is how we track what these whales are up to.
It's one of the tools, yeah. The video does a great job of showing this with the COT chart. Imagine like a tug of war, right? With that zero line in the middle.
Okay, I'm picturing it.
Above the line, you've got the bulls pulling for the price to go up, and below the line, the bears are yanking it down.
A real market showdown. So where do our whales fit into this tug of war?
They're the ones with the iron grip, right? Now, look for that red line on the chart that's our commercial traders. The further they are from that zero line, up or down, the stronger their conviction is, whether they're buying like crazy or heading for the exits.
So if I'm seeing that red line way up high above the zero line,
It's like they're all piling on one side of the rope, pulling with all their might. They're betting on a price surge.
got it. But then let's say this commercial start dumping a currency. That red line starts sinking.
Uh-oh. Yeah, time to get out of the water. Could be a sign that things are about to get choppy.
That's a visual I won't soon forget. Speaking of visuals, the video used a really interesting example, the euro.
Right. It suggested that if you look at the recent COT data, you might see some hints that those commercial traders are getting a little bearish on the euro.
Oh, interesting. Like they're maybe starting to ease off that buy button.
Exactly.
Right.
Which, again, isn't a guaranteed prediction, but it's definitely something to keep an eye on.
So, a heads up for anyone watching the euro. This COT report, it's like a secret weapon for Forex traders. This is why I love these deep dives. You learn something new every time. I'm ready to hear more about this. I want to make sure I'm really understanding how to use this COT report. So, if I'm looking at the euro right now.
Okay, good question. So you want to look at the COT chart for the euro.
Okay.
Specifically at the recent positioning of those commercial traders.
Mm-hmm.
Are they net long, meaning holding more buy positions, or net short, holding more sell positions?
Gotcha.
And importantly, how has that positioning been changing
Okay.
over the past few weeks or months?
Gotcha.
That can give you clues about their overall sentiment.
Okay, so it's not just where they are now, but like which direction they're swimming. Love it. All right, my brain is officially ready for a range contraction. What is range contraction?
So picture this a rubber band,
Okay.
and you're stretching it tighter and tighter.
Mm-hmm.
What happens?
Well, it's building up all that energy, getting ready to snap.
Exactly.
Okay.
That's range contraction in the market.
Okay.
So the price of a currency pair is squeezing into a tighter and tighter range,
Okay.
like it's getting ready for a big breakout.
Okay, so how do we actually see this like rubber band effect on like a chart?
This is where candlestick charts become your best friend.
Okay.
Each candle tells a story about price movement over a specific period.
Okay, I'm picturing the candlesticks, yeah.
Now focus on the body of the candle.
Okay.
That thick part that shows the difference between the opening and closing price for that period.
Right.
Smaller bodies mean the price is opening and closing at very similar levels.
Okay.
That's our tight range, our compressed rubber band.
So it's like the market's holding its breath,
Yeah.
waiting for something to happen.
Exactly. And that's where this Power 3 strategy, as the video calls it, comes into play.
Okay.
This strategy suggests waiting for 3 of those small-bodied candles in a row after a period of contraction.
Okay.
The idea is that the market is primed for a big move in one direction or another.
Got it. So we're looking for that coiled up energy. Then we wait for those three little candles to tell us it's time to buckle up.
You got it.
Okay.
Now remember, this isn't foolproof.
Right.
Not every instance of range contraction leads to an explosive move.
Right. There are no guarantees in the market, unfortunately. But it sounds like if we can combine this with that COT data, that could really increase our chances.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's like having two pieces of a puzzle that fit together.
Mm-hmm.
The COT report gives you an idea of the big player's sentiment.
Right.
And range contraction helps you pinpoint when that sentiment might translate into a major price swing.
Okay, this is making a lot of sense. But now I'm thinking, do we look for these signals on like a weekly chart, a daily chart? How do we choose the right time frame for this?
That is a fantastic question. It's like choosing the right lens for your camera, right? You
Okay.
get your wide-angle lens. That's like your weekly chart.
Okay.
It shows you the big picture, the long-term trends.
Hmm.
That's where those commercial traders really make their presence felt.
So if I'm looking for those like major market shifts, the kind that could really like shake things up, the weekly charts where I want to start.
Exactly. It's like watching like a tectonic plate shift.
Yep.
It happens slowly, but when it moves, you know it.
Right.
Now, zoom in with that lens. That's your daily chart.
Okay.
It's all about short-term opportunities,
Okay.
but also more susceptible to like the day-to-day market jitters.
Right. So the daily chart's more like catching a wave.
Mm-hmm.
You got to be quick and agile.
Precisely. Now, here's a pro tip. Always look back at recent price action to see how significant a range contraction really is.
Well, that's good.
A tiny range on a quiet day might not mean much.
Right.
But if you're seeing that after a week of wild swings,
Totally.
like a hurricane just ripped through the
Yeah,
market,
that's when you know something's up.
that's when those little ranges really start to scream opportunity.
So context is key. Don't get too excited about a small range until we've like checked how volatile things have been lately. Man, this is gold.
Now you're thinking like a true trader.
Okay, so let's bring it all home for our listeners who are ready to rock the Forex world.
Let's do it.
First up, we've got the COT report, our secret weapon for spying on the smart money of those big institutional traders. We're looking for clues about whether they're piling into a currency or like heading for the hills.
Right, and we're pairing that with range contraction, our telltale sign that the market might be gearing up for a big move.
Yes, those shrinking candlesticks, they're like the quiet before the storm.
Exactly.
And we're not just looking at these things in isolation, right? We're combining that COT sentiment with those like telltale chart patterns to get the full picture. Absolutely. Plus, we're choosing the right time frame. Weekly for those like big picture moves, daily for the quick and nimble trades.
You've got it. It's about connecting the dots, seeing the market like a detective, piecing together clues.
This deep dive has been incredible.
It has.
You've given us so much to think about. Who knew those little candlesticks held so many secrets?
Right, they're like little treasure chests just waiting to be opened.
And remember, everyone, the video also mentioned ignoring candlestick wicks. That's a whole other deep dive waiting to happen.
There's always more to explore.
So to our listeners, keep exploring, keep observing, and never stop learning. And hey, if you crack the code of those wicks, come back and share your findings on the deep dive. Until then, happy trading.